Hello and welcome again to Let's Play Shadows of Om. This is Policy of Madness. Last time we did the second level of Watcher's Keep.
Nothing to it.
Today we're going to try to take care of some Stronghold shit. And then we're going to probably do another part of Watcher's Keep.
Whatever you...
Before I start talking today about Richard Dawkins, because of course I'm going to be talking more about Richard Dawkins. But before I do that, I just want to point out that in the state of Kentucky, there is a law that, okay, guess we're not here yet, that if you are in the left-hand lane and you are overtaken by faster traffic, you are required to provide assistance to the people behind you in passing you. You're not merely required to get out of their way, although you are required to get out of their way. You're actually required to assist people in passing you. And this law does not make any mention of the speed limit. Even if you are going the speed limit and the people behind you are going 80 miles an hour in a 55,
If that's what you want.
you are still required to do this.
Greetings, Your Grace.
There's a couple of people. I would actually refer to this as there are a couple of people. But okay. Just tell him. Him? Okay. I think this is misspelled. I don't think this is how you spell preposterous, although I could be wrong. So I can pay them 2,000 or I can pay them 1,000. I like that I can just condemn people to death without a trial. You'll pay for this.
I serve this land regardless.
Alright. I actually think the next thing that's done is the last thing that's done. Could be wrong. Alright. What we're going to do the next section of Watcher's Keep. This is a real law. Even if you're doing 80 in a 55, if somebody comes up roaring behind you doing 90, you're required to get out of their way. You're required to not only get out of their way, you're required to assist them in passing you. If you're in the left-hand lane of a multi-lane road and you are overtaken by faster-moving traffic, it's not legit to hold up, those people behind you. I've memorized this, actually. This is KRS 189350. People don't believe me when I say this is a real law. But it is. And I also have to say that
Nothing to it.
every other
Yes.
state that I've looked into has a similar law. This is not something that's unusual. I actually think that we can get
Whatever you
into
want.
Demogorgon, yeah, right now if we wanted to. Alright. Go drop off this
Just
shit.
ask.
Let's put it away.
What would you like?
What? Yakman! Yakman sees people before him, but they must be illusions. Yes, Yakman is seeing illusions. Delusionary Yakman!
I like Yak Man, except for when he becomes sane, he turns into a dick.
Yakman once think he was real. Talk all the time. His friends say, we come here to look for treasure. Now only Yakman left alive. Lonely Yakman. Wait! You speak? Illusions that speak? No! Demons covered in illusions. Must get away from the demons. Sneak away. Sneaky Yakman.
Yeah, except he sneaks away by just walking in plain sight into this portal so we can see where he's going. The reason for this law is very simple. It's because when you hold up people in traffic, they get frustrated and they do dangerous shit to try to get around you. And so it's preferable from the point of view of public safety for people to go 90 miles an hour and not be held up than for people to be going slower than that but want to go 80 miles an hour and get all pissed and then do something dangerous at 90.
Nothing to it.
Please don't hurt me, demon. Don't hurt me, helpless Yakman. Frightened Yakman.
Oh, well that's okay then. I actually think that he is, it takes you longer to convince him if you're not an elf. Sleepy Yak Man. Okay. Okay. His junk pile was trapped. I actually kind of knew that. Alright, so here actually is the way to get out of here. These are our directions. We're going to be following them. Some shit on the floor. Alright. I think actually this is the way out. Yeah, here we go.
Whatever you want.
Do the teleport maze. Alright. Let's go do the teleport maze. This is kind of a dangerous area because there are,
If you say so.
wild magic zones and null magic zones. Actually, I think the wild magic zones are more dangerous.
Of course.
Alright. So there are a couple of different ways to look at what Richard Dawkins did by flinging feces around the internet. For the rising sun, find the pillar of stone. Okay, so we go east twice. Uh-oh.
My spell is if that's what you want.
Oh, shit.
Whatever you desire.
Intactus pulca imperium.
Okay.
Tell me all about it. Is that all?
What are thee, mortal? Another fleshling drawn from the plains into this prison of the Tanari? I do not smell the blood war on thee, mortal. Speak quickly, or suffer our wrath. We Tanari have been drawn here to this interminable maze, and we know not why. Try though we might, the plains be closed to us. Our ancient foes of the Blood War, fiends of Beator, are in this maze as well. We have little doubt that it is their machinations which have trapped us here. Their destruction will free us, I be sure.
Okay, so this is actually kind of a problem.
Potentis.
Well, shit. I need to get out of here.
Potentis.
Okay.
Just ask.
Alright. Okay, actually I need to get rid of that contingency. Yes. Okay. No shit. Alright. Okay. So one way to look at this is to the way that Richard Dawkins obviously wants us to view it, which is as an exercise of pure logic.
In cactus pulca imperius potenti.
Alright, go take care of those things for me. Prepare to escape.
In cactus pulca imperius.
Alright, are we dead? Alright. So, from the point of view of just pure logic, which is how Richard Dawkins apparently wants us to view this kind of thing. Let's level. Is very deficient. So here's our last level 7 spell. And actually all of these kind of suck. Mass invisibility is what I usually take, because mass invisibility is actually mass improved invisibility. So yeah, this is improved invisibility. So that's actually probably what we're going to take. Protection from the elements is okay, because 75% immunity is pretty good, so maybe we'll take that instead. We don't need warding whip. Delayed blast fireball. Why? Control undead is pointless. I never bother summoning fiends. The fiends are more trouble than they're worth. They have a bunch of spells. They're actually considered to be part of your own party, but they have spells that are not party friendly, and they'll render your other summons hostile. This is particularly a problem with when the summon that is rendered hostile is a planetar, because planetars have vorpal swords, and they see invisible, so it's kind of hard to get away from them. Mantle, protection from magical weapons is much better. I actually don't know why you'd ever want this. Ruby Ray of Reversal, we don't need it. We have Spell Strike. Spell Sequencer is pretty good. But we have Spell Trigger, and that's better. Spell Turning. We don't do Spell Turning. Sphere Chaos is, yeah, Disintegrated. And these are pretty much the same. This, though, is like a Nishiru, except I never used Nishiru. This is the reason I never do it, is because it drains magical items. So, don't actually know. I probably won't use any of these, no matter what I pick. I never use mass invisibility, although I should. I never use protection from the elements, although I should. Yeah, I've never even tried this. But we'll take mass invisibility, since that's what I usually take. Okay. So, what have I got? Lowered resistance? Yeah. We're going to exit this way. The, you know, as an exercise of pure logic, this is quite a deficient argument, and I hope I've explained why in sufficient detail. Another way to look at it is to consider it holistically, because this thing about, you know, pedophilia and another of the, I don't know if I ever mentioned this, that one of the other major thing that he said that got everybody all up in arms was that he said that if he says that stranger rape is worse than acquaintance rape, that doesn't mean he's endorsing acquaintance rape. What you want to say is you don't endorse rape and you don't endorse pedophilia. Why not just say that? The reason he doesn't just say that is because he's trying to insult. That's at least one interpretation. Okay, this is an interpretation. That he's trying to insult the people who have been, you know, saying bad things about him. But this is essentially just a big, you know, him being butthurt, more or less.
Whatever you
Alright.
want.
Sure I can. Alright. This is gonna be pretty dangerous. Like for seriously dangerous.
If you say so.
If I can get off a time stop, it'll be alright. Shit. Got him. Man, that's gonna be really hard.
If that's what you want. Whatever you desire.
What kind of damage did we do? Any? I killed one of them. That's good. Killed one of them. Did a good bit of damage to another one. Alright. I wonder if this will work.
Vita Mortis Cario.
Incurtus Pulcrum Imperium.
Wonder if this would work. Let's try it. Awesome! Okay, that's great. I think I have a strategy now.
Incurtus Pulcrum Imperium.
Oops. If I can get off a time stop, I'll be alright.
Is that all?
If your meaning is that you know, don't endorse pedophilia or whatever, you know, then just say that. Just fucking say that. The reason he doesn't just fucking say that is because he is, it triggered the
Tell me all
contingency
about
really
it.
quickly, didn't it? Now I gotta get off the time stop. Oh, thank God. Alright. I don't usually use time stop. This is a good time to use time stop. Alright.
Vita Mortis Cario. Vita Mortis Cario. Incur. Manus Potentes Ha. Manus Potentes Ha.
Let's try blinding shit. It may not work. She has a spell turning up. Not gonna bother with her. Oops. Okay. Not what I intended to do.
Vita. Vita.
One is my protection from magical weapons. Is that one? Okay.
Vita.
That's protection from magical weapons. Okay.
I shall prevail.
No, he's uninjured. Okay.
I shall prevail. Potentes Ha. I shall prevail.
Okay. Whew. Man. Thanks, guys. Like, for real. This thing over here is trapped.
Manus potentes ha!
Obviously the reason that he didn't say it, to say that, is, you know, the possible motivation.
Potentes ha!
Would be if, you know, he just wants to insult people. So that's one way of interpreting it. Man. That fight's quite dangerous. You may have noticed that. So he had one of the gems, and now we also have his heart. Mushy, fleshy bag of vileness. Okay.
I shall prevail. I shall prevail. I shall prevail. I shall prevail.
But there's another way to view this. And the other way to view this is...
Incorrect.
With you.
from a perspective of power. Uh-oh.
Nothing to it.
Guess I didn't realize that might happen.
I'm waiting.
Quit wasting your damn time on these things.
I shall prevail. I shall prevail. I shall prevail.
Well, that was an extremely high value ambush.
Whatever you want.
Let's try it again. Alright. Understanding that Richard Dawkins is a extremely privileged person, you can perhaps understand what actually happened. Let's see. South to the obelisk.
Tell me all about it.
Which is that a bunch of people came out of the woodwork in order to support him and defend him. Okay, that's another dead magic room.
Of course. If that's what you want.
Tons of people decided to just announce that, yeah, sure, Richard Dawkins, his ideas are totally correct, and everyone should agree that his notions are, you know, perfectly legit. And that if you disagree with him, that just means that you're bad at logic. There were lots of people who said that. Damn, level again. Wow. I think there's a pit fiend. That pit fiend is like seriously dangerous. I think there's a trap here. Alright, let's level again. This would be our last level if we were constrained by the limits of the game. So here's our final level 8 spell. And I think we're going to take Simulacrum. Protection from energy is another of those things that, protection from the elements, which is great if you remember to use it, and I never do. I don't understand this spell. You get 3d6 damage with no save. And then they're held. That's pretty good, but that's only for like 1 round. Improved mantles like mantle, but you know, slightly better. Also not as good as protection from magical weapons. So only lasts 4 rounds, just like protection from magical weapons. Incendiary Cloud is pretty much the only standing area of effect damage spell, damage over time spell, that I would even consider taking, because it's 1d4 per level, and my level's pretty high. So the damage that it does is pretty respectable. I don't know what the cap is. It's probably 20, but 20 d4 damage is still pretty good. Even with a save for half, you're going to average about 20 hit points per round. But, you know, again, you got to keep things in the area of effect. You have to do it without rendering your own summons hostile. It's just kind of a pain. I never bother with the fiends, and the symbols, in my opinion, are not worth it. So I think we're going to use Simulacrum. And that, I think, would be our last level. No, we wouldn't have even gotten to this far. We would have been stuck on level 31. All right, what do we got? Oh, we're going south to the obelisk. Okay. I think there's another track.
Nothing to it. Yes.
Okay, good.
Tell me all about it. Whatever you want.
Shit, what are they casting at me? Charm person. Oh, I don't need a charm. That's fine.
Tell me all about it.
Vita! I shall prevail. I shall prevail. I shall prevail. I shall prevail.
Alright.
What would you like?
Do you really think that all these people would have come to the defense of Richard Dawkins if he were someone other than Richard Dawkins? You know, if he were just some other dude, even another white dude. If he were not famous, if he didn't have a big fan club, if he were just some guy, do you think that he would have still had all these defenders, people saying, oh yeah, your logic is perfectly legit. Do you really think so? I don't think so. This is it's an expression of power. It's an expression of power to be able to come out with such complete bullshit. Such utter bullshit. Such bad logic. And more or less insult the people who call you out on your terrible logic. Who tell you, you know, this is idiotic what you're saying. To be able to just insult them and tell them that you don't know how to think. Richard Dawkins is the one who doesn't know how to think. Okay, I mean he does, but he's not. The logic that he was using here was just not there. If all you want to do is say, you know, I actually am not a supporter of what happened to Rebecca Watson, and what happened to her was terrible, and that's what I think. He could have just said that. But he chose not to. He chose instead to just issue an insult to everyone who had ever said anything bad about him. If he had done that, and he had been anybody else, how do you think that people would have reacted? Do you think that they would have leapt to his defense? I have strong doubts on that.
I shall prevail.
I'm waiting. Nothing to it.
Okay. Okay.
Whatever you want.
A mortal new, a fleshling true. With you there is no blood war. Speak, mortal, and stay your sword. To this maze we have been brought, led by the force we long have sought. We wish to return to Beator again, but our attempts to gate are all in vain.
He rhymes pretty well, except right here.
Our ancient blood war foes, the Tanari, are also in this place. No doubt they are responsible for the plight we now face. But the Tanari be too strong. Our battles have been many and long. You have great power, mortal, it is true. Kill the Baelor, Tahazar, and be rewarded by the Beata Zoo. You have the heart of the Baelor. You have our gratitude forevermore. Strange, though, that we still cannot gate. Perhaps the Tanari had naught to do with our fate?
Now, there's no need to fight these things. They're not hostile. The reason they're not hostile is because we are lawful neutral, and the Beatazu are lawful demons. If you are lawful, but not good, then you can deal with the Beatazu. If you are chaotic, but not good, then you can deal with the Tanari. It's up to you. I choose to deal, because I just don't feel like fighting them. There's literally nothing in there that I need. So let's not fuck with it. Don't remember what's here.
Incorrect. If you say so.
Alright.
Shall prevail.
Okay.
Yes, whatever you decide.
Okay, here's the... Here's the thing. Now, where are we going? Now we're going west. Now we're going to go west, and then we're just going to go straight back into the same portals. We're going to go west once, and then straight back into the same portals, and thereby we're going to avoid a wild magic room. The wild magic rooms, in my opinion, are much more dangerous than the null magic rooms. That's just my opinion. There are a lot of people who completely disavowed Richard Dawkins when he started this whole little thing. There were some people who had defended him previously, some people who were quite hip to him under normal circumstances, who basically backed away, you know, saying, holy shit, what he's saying is not something I endorse. But there were a bunch of people who agreed with him wholeheartedly, even though his logic, as I've shown you, is terrible. Taken as a statement of logic, it's terrible. Taken as a moral statement, it's fine. But morality is based in emotion, and it's not good to tell people that they're just they're just emoting at you when your statement that you're using is bad logic and morality. If you base your statement in morality, you're basing it in emotion. So why are you talking down to other people who are basing their statements in emotion? You know, it doesn't make any sense. And there were lots of people, who came to Richard Dawkins' defense. This is a wild magic room, as I recall. Or maybe this is the wild magic room. Not sure.
Do it.
Either way, we're just not going to fuck with him.
Whatever you want.
Oh, shit. Did he see me? No. Oh, good.
Tell me all about it.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by traps here, as I recall. Okay.
Ali. Ali. Credo oculo. Alia Vero. Manus potentes ha. Manus potentes ha. Manus potentes ha.
Just ask.
Manus potentes ha!
That spell trap up. Good. Okay.
I'm waiting.
Shit. Magic resistance?
Manus potentes ha!
Yes.
This is okay.
Vita mortis carere.
I shall prevail. Manus potentes ha! I shall prevail. I shall prevail.
Oh, there we go. Alright.
What would you like?
It's ultimately an expression of power, or a demonstration of power. When you're able to pull shit like this, and people just let you get away with it. When people just tolerate shit like this. Uh-oh. Time for the familiar bag of holding, I think. To hold on to that. I do have both gems, right? Yeah, okay.
I shall prevail.
Richard Dawkins knows that he can do shit like this. And that he'll get away with it. Because even if people think about calling him on it, he has enough people who will not call him on it that he can continue to, for example, work. He's in a position where he can do shit like this, and he's not in any danger. Oh shit. This is not immunized. He's not in any danger whatsoever of his, employment being at risk. That's good enough.
I'm waiting.
He's not in any danger of losing, too many friends. Even people who think he's full of shit are just gonna kind of shake their heads. Nobody's going to come to Richard Dawkins and run him out of town, There might be plenty of people who might want to. But nobody's actually going to. That entire fight was completely unnecessary.
Why, hello there. A prime, is it? I thought we'd been drawn into the prime material plane, but I couldn't be sure with all this interference. Pardon my atrocious manners. I sometimes forget that you primes are civilized. My name is Ayaz Gareth, and these are my servants and pets.
He's a Cambion. He's another of these demons. I really like the demons in here because only the chromatic demon deals with you in false faith. Every other demon, if they want to kill you, they just come at you. And if they don't want to kill you, if they are inclined to talk to you, they don't ever try to backstab you. They don't ever try to betray you. They hold up their ends of the bargain.
If you or some companion of yours is ready to play, come and speak to me. Unless, of course, you're too frightened.
Whatever you
Man,
want.
have I leveled like 3 times since I came to this level? I think I have. Okay, so he wasn't kidding. He's actually killed some things. Alright.
Yeah.
We're perfectly safe here, as far as I remember. So all we need to play his game, really. Are ordinary protections. Plus a plain tar.
So then, what do you say? Ready to play? Interesting, most interesting. The Ganassi was a genius, if you ask me. So, that is it. A dangerous game. And yet it seems we have survived relatively unscathed, yeah?
Okay. I actually want to lose. I don't actually want to play his game.
If that's what you want.
So then, what do you say? Ready to play?
I'm waiting.
I shall prevail.
And I'll make it quick. And I'll make it quick. Beg for death. And I'll make it quick. Beg for death. And I'll make it quick.
Tell me all about it.
Beg for death. And I'll make it quick. Beg for...
I shall prevail.
Beg for death. Beg for death. And I'll make it quick. Beg...
I shall prevail.
Yes.
I shall prevail. I shall prevail. I shall prevail.
Shit.
I shall prevail.
Tell me all about it.
I shall prevail. I shall prevail.
Most interesting. The Ganassi is a genius, if you ask me. So, that is it? A dangerous game. And yet it seems we have survived relatively unscathed, yeah? Thank you. For a prime, you aren't so bad. Come, my minions. Let us return to the plains before someone actually begins to miss us. Onwards!
Alright. So that's actually the end of that.
I'm waiting. Nothing to it. Yes. Whatever you want.
Holy shit. These guys were well equipped. I'm gonna have to bag of holding again, I think. Crapola. That's pretty cool, actually. Someone in a different position, someone in a more precarious position, someone with fewer people willing to overlook his or her ridiculous shit.
Tell me all about it.
Might be in quite a different position.
What would you...
It's only someone who has the power to ignore the slings and arrows, so to speak, who is able to retaliate in the kind of way that Richard Dawkins did. And people overlooked his terrible logic. And I think that the fact that he has such ingrained power has a lot to do with that. Someone who offered shitty-ass logic like that, but was not Richard Dawkins, probably would not have a whole bunch of people saying, oh yes, you're so logical and everyone else is so emotional. It's much less likely that people would buy into this notion. And furthermore, there are a lot of folks who have this idea that logic is inherently good and, and emotion is inherently bad. There's actually no reason to think that. That's the hell? Okay. My ferret, it just somehow equipped a sword. Don't know how that happened. I think this is the first time we've run our ferret out of inventory. The ferret does have a limited inventory. I believe that the inventory is equal to the inventory that my character has. It's not only an expression of power, it's also the fact that he has power allows him to feel comfortable doing this. Only someone who feels, who knows, in an innate way, that he or she has the kind of power to get away with this kind of shit, well, I guess I'll just have to either come back for that or not, will even attempt it. And people who have power are more likely to be believed just, without any kind of analysis. Because any kind of analysis will tell you how, shitty Richard Dawkins' logic was. But people buy it. People bought his logic without bothering to analyze it. Just took him at his, his word that it is logical, without looking at it themselves in any way. And only someone who has a certain level of power can get away with that. So I think we've actually gone over an hour here by quite a bit. But next time we'll be going into the next level of Watcher's Keep. We'll then be jumping out and trying to do some of this Stronghold shit, which is what we're wasting time for. So join me then. Later.